Hey, what's going on, guys? JayzTwoCents here, coming at you live from my brand new revamped home office / YouTube studio. It looks awesome in here. The color is very comfortable and I love being in this room, but now I'm fighting a little bit of an echo problem. That's okay, we'll figure it all out, so bear with me if you hear some echo. Otherwise, let's go ahead and take a look at something nerdy. Now, I promised you guys that I was going to review some affordable, high-quality components here for your systems. And today, we're going to be taking a look at the Cooler Master V650. Now, this is actually the VSM 650. Now, what does the VSM stand for? Well, I think it stands for Very Sexy Merchandise. Well, it's probably a lot more likely that it actually stands for the V Semi-Modular. And it kind of says it on the box. If you read English, there it is right there. And there it is. Now, this is very similar to the V-Series power supply I took a look at last year. I think it was on November or something. Their V-Series this is kind of their top tier power supply line now. But the 650, obviously, is 650 watts, is available in several different nominal wattages. But the V650 is semi-modular, where the standard V600, 700, 800, 1000, or even the 1200, which I'm currently using in this guy behind me, those are fully modular. Now, these are semi-modular, which allows them to take their tried, tested, and proven gold-rated power supplies here, and it'll make them a little bit more affordable. Now, let's go ahead and talk about some specs on this bad boy. This thing is featuring a single 12-volt rail, 648 watts peak output at, peak output, and it does feature a 120 millimeter hybrid ball-bearing fan. Now, what's cool about that is, as you can see, the fan doesn't start to ramp up until loading increases to about 50%, and then the fan will ramp up from there. And what that does is it keeps a nice, quiet fan profile so that you don't have your power supply adding to the noise of your system. Now, what really helps in keeping this thing with that gold standard and nice low power curve here, nice quiet power curve for the fan, is the fact that this thing is featuring very high quality components. It's got 100% Japanese capacitors, solid capacitors on here, which really help with the power delivery, and that is what's helping keep this thing nice and cool. Now, with that 80% or that 80 plus gold rating, that means you're not going to be pulling as much juice from the wall, which makes this a very efficient power supply, allowing you to get the power that you're paying for from the plug, making it to the system rather than converting it to heat and just exhausting it to the atmosphere, which might as well just be pennies going into nowhere. Now, when it comes to specs, as I mentioned, we're going to kind of move along here. We do have 140 millimeters by 150 millimeters by 86 millimeters. So what does that mean? That means this is a very small power supply. Now, this is designed to be able to fit in small form factor builds, which is perfect for ITX, micro ATX, and as you can see right here, here is your power supply. It's a nice little short guy. I'm not saying anything if you're short out there. In fact, you know, they do say great things come in small packages. But as you can see, we do have 4 modular cables right there, which are clearly going to be your SATA plugs. You do get I'd say a medium quality wall plug. It could be a little bit heavier. Then again, we're only dealing with 650 watts here. Now, when it comes to the peripherals, they are featuring all black flat cables. Now, this makes it a lot easier to route behind your motherboard tray if you're dealing with really tight spaces. They're not super heavy density cables or heavy gauge cables, so as you can see, they're really easy to kind of maneuver here, which is good. But you've got what looks like a 4 SATA on there. You've got another 4 SATA right there, and then 3 Molex and 3 Molex with a floppy drive. Why do you guys keep putting floppy drives on these power supplies? And not just Cooler Master, I mean Corsair, Cooler Master, Roswell, EVGA. I don't get it. Why do you guys keep putting the floppy drive? Are you guys really coming across that many 3.5-inch floppy drives out there, or 3 1/4 floppy drives? I mean, Okay, so the power supply, as you can see, does feature a nicely embossed V650 on there with the Cooler Master logo. Nice vented rear plate here that gives you perfect, opening for exhaust. You do have a toggle switch, which is good. I don't like power supplies that do not have a toggle switch. This is very important. If you need to quickly cut power to your system, 120 millimeter ball bearing fan with the nice shield on here for the fan. I do like the honeycomb look on there. As with most power supplies, I have a serious gripe, and I think you guys may already know what that is. Can you figure out what it is I don't like about this? That's right, guys. Medium density sleeving, rainbow colors. Now, this isn't the only power supply that I've had this gripe about. EVGA, Corsair, Roswell. I hate medium sleeving that you can see through with multicolored cables. You've got this gorgeous black cable here. Continue the trend through the rest of the build, for the love of God. That way you can get, without having to buy any extra sleeving or extensions, you can maintain a singular color theme. How expensive are black cables that companies are not doing this? That is my only gripe about this power supply, is the sleeving. So, Cooler Master, I love you guys. I've been supporting you guys for nearly 20 years, as long as I've been working on computers, from being a kid all the way up through an adult. But this is just blasphemy. All right, enough about the cables. The performance of this is what matters. If you're the person that's on a super budget, you need a small form factor power supply that gives you high efficiency, high output, solid capacitors, gold rated efficiency, semi-modular, so you can use the plugs you need, leave out the ones you want, and you can get past the sleeving on this. This is certainly something that you should consider for your build. I mean, really, when it comes to the cost to performance ratio, I can get past the sleeving, especially if it's going in something that doesn't have a window, or you're going to be using cable extensions to kind of give yourself a color theme anyway. But this is the perfect size power supply for a small form factor build. And the efficiency, it's going to allow for it to be a lot cooler power supply that's not going to be heating up your case, especially if you're dealing with small form factor, which this would really come in handy in. So guys, the Cooler Master V650 gold rated power supply. Tell me what you guys think. They showed us this power supply line at CES back in January, and here it is now. Definitely take a look at this if you're looking at building yourself a high quality system on the inexpensive. So guys, it's been JayzTwoCents. Make sure you follow on Twitter for up-to-date just ramblings and rantings of mine, really. And as always, I will see you in my next video, or maybe TED Talk, or Twitter, or something along those lines.